Episode 2. Location: Thistleton Village. Inside: the Crossed Arms Pub. Time: 5:46 p.m. Agnes MacLeod wipes down the bar as June and Hamish McTavish chat with Dougie McGregor, who is attempting to fix a broken stool, while playing with one hand on the puggy. Agnes: Dougie, if you put half as much effort into fixing things as you do into impressing me, this stool would have been fixed weeks ago. June chuckles while Hamish nods in agreement. Dougie: Sorry, Agnes, just trying to make sure everything's in order for tonight's meeting. It starts at 6 p.m. It's just getting started soon. You know, so you can finally see how smart I am. Agnes, rolling her eyes: Oh, I have no doubt about your intelligence, Dougie. It's your handiness that's in question. The door swings open, and PC Angus Mackenzie enters, looking slightly flustered. PC Mackenzie: Evening folks. Just a routine check-in. Everything all right in here? Fiona: Aye, everything is fine, PC Mackenzie. PC Mackenzie replies back: So it's normal routine then, Fiona. Dougie breaking things, Agnes giving him grief, and Hamish trying to keep the peace. The pub erupts into laughter as PC Mackenzie shakes his head in amusement. PC Mackenzie: Well, as long as it's the usual, I'll leave you to it. But remember, no causing trouble tonight, alright? With a mischievous twinkle in his eye, as PC Mackenzie exits the pub, Hamish puts in a few coins in the jukey, to get the atmosphere going in the Crossed Arms Pub. Nothing like a bit of music to get things moving. Hamish: Speaking of trouble, has anyone seen young McGregor lass today? I heard she was up to no good again. Fiona exchanges a knowing glance with Hamish. Fiona: Aye, she's been quiet today, but that usually means she's plotting something. The villagers exchange wary looks as they prepare for whatever mischief the young lass has in store for Thistleton. Just then, the door bursts open, and Fiona McGregor rushes in, a mischievous grin plastered on her face. Fiona: Good evening, everyone. Sorry I'm late, had a wee bit of business to attend to at home, you know how it is. When you want to get somewhere, someone always phones last minute. The villagers exchange knowing looks, bracing themselves for whatever chaos Fiona McGregor has brought with her. Agnes: And what kind of business might that be, Fiona? Planning another one of your infamous events? Fiona feigns innocence: I don't know what you're meaning. Fiona: Oh, Agnes, you wounded me. I'm simply here to enjoying the evening at the pub with my dear friends and family. The villagers exchange skeptical glances, but before anyone can question her further, the door swings open again, revealing Callum Mackenzie, Fiona's brother and is the local schoolteacher. He walks in. Callum: Good evening, everyone. Just thought I'd stop by for a drink after a long day of wrangling the wee ones. I'm puddled tonight. Fiona, who had been chatting with Mrs. Macduff in the corner, perks up at the sight of her brother. Fiona: Callum, you're just in time for the meeting night. I'll get you a drink. I'd love a wee dram. Callum replies back: We could use your brainpower at the meeting. You're a canny lad to have on anyone's side. Callum chuckles, nodding in agreement. Callum: Of course, Fiona. Anything to help out my dear sister and her wild schemes. Fiona and Callum take a seat together. Callum raises his drink up, a toast to my dear sister, lang may your lum reek. Each take a sip from the drinks, and sit the drinks down for the meeting to begin. As the villagers settle in for a night of laughter and camaraderie, they know that with this lively bunch, there's never a dull moment in Thistleton. As the evening progresses, the pub fills with laughter and the sound of friendly banter. Fiona Mackenzie, ever the organizer, stands on a chair, clipboard in hand, ready to kick off the meeting night. Fiona: Alright, everyone, listen up. It's time to put your thinking caps on for tonight's meeting. We've got to get this heating fixed in the community hall, and we've got other stuff to sort out, so time is not on our side. But first, I want to say a big thank you to June and Hamish for letting us have tonight's meeting in the Crossed Arms Pub. I know, it's the 6th time in doing so, but we are all here to finally get things moving in the right direction. As she says that, she looks around the room to see half of the community with their arms crossed. Never mind, she says to herself as she opens the community meeting. I'm going to put you in groups tonight, make this easy for me. Each group, you have a notebook, and pens, on the table. It's like being back at school again, someone calls out, from across the room. Never mind, it helps me and the management team. Like I have said, if it helps, write down your own thoughts and we can decide at the end of tonight's meeting, with a vote, with a show of hands. Any questions on everything please wait till the end, but she knows deep down, that will never happen. The villagers cheer and eagerly huddle into groups, each determined to prove their importance. Meanwhile, at the bar, Agnes pours pints with practiced efficiency while engaging in lively conversation with Dougie and Hamish. Their laughter mingles with the chatter of the other patrons, creating a warm and welcoming atmosphere. Hamish, at least it helps with tonight's takings. Agnes, I could get used to this. At a corner table, the McPherson sisters, Mary and Mag, share secretive glances as they whisper and giggle, undoubtedly plotting their next prank. Over by the fireplace, Moira MacDonald sits with Kirsty, sharing stories and imparting wisdom as the younger woman listens intently, soaking up her grandmother's words like a sponge. Their banter leads to the origins of the crossed arms. After a slew of wild stories from other community members, the McPherson sisters turn to Hamish, stationed by the bar, eager to hear the true story behind the pub's peculiar name. As Hamish begins, the room falls silent, a rare moment that night. You could almost hear a pin drop. Ladies and gentlemen, the curious name of this establishment dates back many, many years ago, Hamish begins dramatically. So the story goes, the pub was never called the Crossed Arms when it first opened its doors in 1787. It was something completely different, lost in time I believe, so they say. One will never know. Well, legend has it that the original owner loved to drink and gamble. One night, after a particularly intense game of cards, he lost all his money, and the only thing left to wager was his arms. And let's just say, he crossed 'em a little too late, Hamish explains with a smirk, drawing chuckles from the audience. Imagine the owner sitting there with crossed arms at the poker table, trying to bluff his way out of losing his limbs. And from that day on, the pub was known as Crossed Arms, and became a cautionary tale. With that, everyone starts clapping and hailing Hamish's tale. Hamish then points to Dougie, who is now seated next to Agnes. Dougie, what's that sign say on the side of your house? Hamish teases, and Dougie looks down, embarrassed. Reference to a historical plaque on the outside wall. The McPherson sisters chime in, it says, on this very spot in Scottish history, in 1642, nothing happened. The pub bursts into laughter at Dougie's expense. Dougie, someone shouts out, across the pub, it's 1955, you may still have time, mate, adding to Dougie's embarrassment. By now, Agnes is looking away, red-faced, shaking her head, with a smile on her face. As the meeting progresses, tensions rise, and competitive spirit fills the air. Each group fiercely debates questions and answers to the heating problems within the community hall, occasionally erupting into playful arguments and good-natured ribbing. And, so the night unfolds in the cozy confines of the Crossed Arms pub, a haven of camaraderie and community in the quaint village of Thistleton, where each character plays their part in the tapestry of village life, weaving together a story of friendship, laughter, and the enduring spirit of a close-knit community. As the meeting night progresses, tensions mount with each passing question, the energy in the pub's atmosphere becomes palpable. Fiona, the chairperson, reads questions for the groups to discuss with enthusiasm, while the groups scribble furiously on their notebooks, determined to outsmart their rivals. At the bar, Agnes MacLeod watches the proceedings with amusement, occasionally interjecting with her trademark wit and sarcasm. Agnes, chuckling. Looks like Dougie's group is struggling again. Maybe next time you'll focus more on fixing stools than trying to impress me, eh? Dougie, red-faced and flustered, stammers a response, much to the amusement of the other patrons. Meanwhile, PC Angus Mackenzie tries to keep order amidst the growing excitement, his attempts at maintaining decorum occasionally thwarted by bursts of raucous laughter or heated debates over how the community can fix the heating problems in the community hall, which has taken almost a year to get it fixed. PC Mackenzie. Now, let's keep it civil, folks. Remember, it's all in good faith. but his words fall on deaf ears as the villagers become increasingly engrossed in the competition to find the salutations to the problems that lay ahead. In a corner of the pub, Callum Mackenzie, Fiona's brother and the local schoolteacher, lends his knowledge to his group, with calm assurance, his steady presence providing a stabilizing influence amidst the chaos. "We should use solar panels," he speaks out. And as the meeting draws to a close, tensions reach a fever pitch, with each group anxiously awaiting the final decision on how to fix the many problems the community faced. Fiona announces the group with the best idea, to a chorus of cheers and groans. Fiona and the group of tonight's meeting are dramatic pause. Group leading idea for tonight was MacLeod. The pub erupts into cheers and applause as Agnes and Dougal MacLeod's team celebrates their hard-fought victory, basking in the glory of their triumph. What an idea! As the night winds down and the villagers bid each other farewell, there's a sense of camaraderie and togetherness that lingers in the air, a reminder of the bonds that unite them in this small but vibrant community of Thistleton. And as they go their separate ways, they carry with them the memories of another memorable evening at the Crossed Arms pub, where laughter, friendship, and a healthy dose of competition reign supreme. As the meeting night comes to an end, the villagers slowly begin to filter out of the Crossed Arms pub, their laughter and chatter filling the night air. Agnes MacLeod bids farewell to the last patrons, a contented smile on her face as she locks up for the night. Agnes. Another successful meeting night, Dougie. Seems like your group victory has put you in high spirits. Dougie. Hi, Agnes, it was a grand night indeed. Though I must admit, I couldn't have done it without your sharp wit and sage advice. Agnes. Flattery will get you nowhere, Dougie, but I'll take it nonetheless. Now, off you go before I change my mind and put you to work fixing those stools again. Dougie chuckles and bids Agnes good night before heading out into the cool night air, his heart still racing with the thrill of victory. Outside, PC Angus Mackenzie bids farewell to the last stragglers, his good-natured demeanor belying the sense of duty that always accompanies him in his role as the village policeman. PC Mackenzie. Good night, folks. Remember to look after yourselves on the way home. Mind the roads in the dark. Be careful. As the village of Thistleton settles into slumber, the lights of the Crossed Arms pub dim, casting a warm glow onto the quiet streets. Inside, Agnes MacLeod takes a moment to savor the peace and quiet, grateful for another day spent in the company of friends and neighbors. Counting the evening takings, he takes note, and locks it into the safe wall. Answer, as the night deepens and the stars twinkle overhead, the village of Thistleton drifts off to sleep, content in the knowledge that tomorrow will bring another day of laughter, friendship, and the enduring sense of community that binds them together. The next morning dawns bright and clear over Thistleton, with the first rays of sunlight peeking through the windows of the village houses. As the villagers begin to stir from their slumber, the familiar sounds of morning life echo through the streets. At the Crossed Arms pub, June McTavish is already hard at work, preparing for another busy day ahead. She bustles about the pub, wiping down tables and stocking the bar, her no-nonsense demeanor belying the warmth and hospitality she extends to all who enter. Meanwhile, Dougie McGregor shuffles into the pub, still rubbing the sleep from his eyes. He greets June with a warm smile, eager to start his day with a hearty breakfast and perhaps a bit of mischief to keep things interesting. Dougie. Morning, June. What's on the menu for today? June McTavish. The usual, Dougie. Full Scottish breakfast for you, I suppose. Dougie nods eagerly, settling into his usual spot at the bar as June sets to work in the kitchen. Outside, the village begins to come to life as the residents go about their morning routines. The McPherson sisters, Mag and Mary, emerge from their cottage with mischievous smiles, no doubt plotting their next prank on unsuspecting passersby. Down by the river bank, Mrs. Macduff opens up her small fairground, the sound of laughter and merry-go-round music drifting through the air as children gather to enjoy the attractions on a late Saturday morning. At the Thistleton post office, Angus McGregor sorts through the day's mail with practiced efficiency, his thick Scottish accent filling the room as he chats with customers who stop by to collect their letters and parcels. And in the village community hall, Fiona Mackenzie is already hard at work planning the next big event, her boundless energy and enthusiasm driving her to create memorable experiences for the villagers to enjoy. As the day wears on, the rhythm of village life continues unabated, each resident playing their part in the rich tapestry of Thistleton. And though they may face challenges and obstacles along the way, the spirit of community and camaraderie that binds them together remains as strong as ever, ensuring that each day in Thistleton is filled with laughter, love, and a sense of belonging. As the day progresses, the villagers of Thistleton find themselves immersed in various activities and tasks, each contributing to the vibrant tapestry of life in the village. In the village community hall, Fiona Mackenzie orchestrates a flurry of activity as preparations for the upcoming fundraiser take shape. With boundless energy and creativity, she coordinates volunteers, organizes supplies, and fine-tunes every detail to ensure the event's success. Meanwhile, at the Thistleton post office, Angus McGregor navigates through stacks of mail, his thick Scottish accent adding a touch of charm to his interactions with customers. Despite the occasional mix-up or hiccup, Angus's dedication to his job shines through as he diligently ensures that each letter finds its rightful recipient. Down by the river bank, Mrs. Macduff's small fairground springs to life with the delighted laughter of children and the nostalgic strains of carnival music. The old-fashioned rides and games evoke memories of simpler times, drawing families from all corners of the village to enjoy a day of wholesome fun. At the Crossed Arms pub, June McTavish oversees the bustling lunch rush with her trademark efficiency, expertly balancing orders and banter with patrons. Her sharp wit and no-nonsense attitude keep the atmosphere lively and engaging, ensuring that every visitor feels welcome and well cared for. Outside in the village streets, the McPherson sisters, Mary and Mag, unleash their playful antics upon unsuspecting villagers, their mischievous schemes adding a touch of excitement to the day's proceedings. Whether it's a harmless prank or a clever practical joke, the twins' infectious laughter and sense of fun brings smiles to the faces of all who encounter them. As evening approaches, the villagers of Thistleton gather once again at the Crossed Arms pub, drawn together by the promise of good company and camaraderie. Amidst the chatter and laughter, friendships are strengthened, bonds are forged, and the sense of community that defines life in Thistleton grows ever stronger. Answer, as the day fades into night and the stars twinkle overhead, the villagers of Thistleton retire to their homes, grateful for another day filled with laughter, love, and the enduring spirit of the beloved village. For in Thistleton, every moment is an opportunity to embrace the joys of life and celebrate the rich tapestry of human connection that binds them all together. To be